settle down, I'll also take this opportunity to briefly introduce each one of them. But first, a huge round of applause for all of them, ladies and gentlemen, as they join us on stage. Dr. R.K. Patnaik, OTS CDM Belgium, Assistant Director, Retired Department of Tourism, Government of Odisha. I would say he's a walking encyclopedia on many subjects across tourism. I have worked with him on various events. He also has a PhD in tourism. His experience as a tourism expert spans across 15 years in Odisha tourism, 2 years in India tourism at Goa, and 3 years at India tourism Paris. Mr. Gagan Sarangi, Chairman, Indian Association of Tour Operators, Odisha Chapter, Founder and Managing Director, Dove Tours Private Limited, which has been promoting tribal wildlife, cultural and sustainable tourism in India. He's also a member of the ITO Committee for Destination Exploration and Development Committee, has traveled abroad extensively for growing his venture as well as promoting Indian tourism, strongly believes in high value, low impact, no negative impact, responsible tourism practices that bring economic benefit to communities and promote peace and harmony in the society. We have with us Mr. Deen Dayal Swami, Professor Head and Dean, Faculty of Management Studies, Sri Sri University, a PhD from Central University, alumnus of Emeritus Institute of Management, Singapore, and years of experience in corporate, academics, and speaking. With a career first-class record in MCOM, MBA, LLB, he has varied interests in the field of digital and social media marketing, branding, motivation, law of attraction, leadership, marketing strategy, sales training, consumer psychology, NLP, personal branding, sales, coaching, service marketing, and negotiation. And of course, our moderator for this session, Fostering Entrepreneurship in Odisha, a well-known and respectable name in the hospitality industry, Mr. Debashish Patnaik, Debu Bhai, as they all know him, President of Thai Bhubaneswar, promoter of Dalma chain restaurant. We saw this Swad Odisha Padmani Dekhitile Argasra me jota Odia cuisine bisare kotha houtile. I think the first person from Odisha to promote Odia cuisine outside the borders of our state, Mr. Debu Patnaik, with his Dalma chain of restaurants, also a serial angel investor. And yes, I think I can go on about him as well. So I will now request him to take this session forward from here. Over to you.
Good afternoon. I hope I am audible. Yeah. Thank you, Diksha, for very generous words. You never stop. I call her Gabbar Singh. That's a different story that will come later. Welcome. We had a very extensive session on rural tourism, the previous one, which had almost covered everything. And with contributors like, moderator like Bubu and contributors like Charudatta Panigrai, Dr. Giri. So, I think there is very little left for us to discuss other than what has been assigned to us, that is the marketing of rural tourism. But before we go into that, I have a few things to tell you. One is, which has been raised by most of the panelists in the previous session, is losing out our rural sector. Now, are we still having the villages to promote a rural tourism? That is a big doubt. I will probably take this opportunity and request these people, if we could, I'll show you a village in UK. This was built probably in the late 18th century. Still continues to be there. And whatever that we are talking about, a rural tourism, is available here, including having the homestay and all, a proper hotel. But the ecosystem continues to be same. They don't have concrete houses. Our villages have concrete houses. They still have those thatch houses. So we have to, this sustainability that we are talking about, we have to hold on to that. But are we really doing it? Getting into that, for the marketing of our product, that is rural product, the villages, the art, the culture, the ecosystem, and possibly the lifestyle is what we are going to market in rural tourism, the experience tourism. I have a fabulous panel with me, and they would contribute substantially and generously for this. I will start with Dr. Patnaik and ask him a question about, is rural tourism, I will be a little more Odisha specific, India specific. Is rural tourism really an option available in Odisha? If yes, how to take it to the next level? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is a great moment to share a few thoughts about, the prospect of rural tourism in Odisha and how to take it forward. At the outset, I must say that yes, we all are concerned and know about the prospect of tourism in our day-to-day life and how it is developing. It is a talk of the town in everybody's mouth, yes, and everybody is having their own opinion about development, progress, infrastructure. Yes, this is the things are endless, but we have to make a start somewhere down the line. But as far as tourism is concerned, you know that it is an activity. It is an activity which directly or indirectly affects human life and brings benefit, and so also development. In every sector, in every sphere of human life. But it is a buzzword today in everybody's mind, not like earlier before. It was never even thought of to give a serious thought and look into this particular field. But over a period of time that we right now know that yes, there is a lot of scope that if you can take it forward, it will be one of the driving force or one of the engine of economic growth. We have realized there is a lot of research also has gone into that. Lot of scholars, lot of institutions, they have given a very valid suggestions how to take it forward. But the same principles is not applied to all the destinations, all the states and all the countries. So each country, each states, each DMCs, they have to devise their own course of action, check out their plan, how to take it forward, and what do they want to promote. Promotion is all about, and why do we promote a product, you tell me? If we have a product, do we need promotion? Yes, we need promotion, we need publicity, we need marketing. Because when you are devising a product or developing a product, we need to make an analysis about the end users. Before looking into that, we create a product or develop a product. So that is the first wrong step everybody takes. Because the concept of marketing is changing, because it is a service industry. We need to know who are our users, where are they, where are from, how frequently are they coming, how frequently are they using. So many questions have to be asked before devising that product. To that context, if rural tourism we will talk about right now as far as Odisha is concerned, yes, I must very strongly say that there is enough scope for promotion of this part, this segment. We have different product, that I will not delve into that. But as far as rural tourism is concerned, because we all know that India lives in villages, and that is the real India, not the rural India. If that is the real India, then we must address to them. Tourism is not all about bringing tourists that they will spoil our own environment, but at the same time, it should be sustainable, it should be viable, it should bring meaningful economic benefit for the society in a manner which the society accepts, not that what the tourist wants. Similarly, we should develop and design a product what the tourist wants, because this is a buyer's market. In buyer's market, people have lot many choices. Why they will come to Odisha? Why they will not go to Goa? So what is our strength? So we have to devise a product basing on those criteria. So when you are fixing of different criteria, that we have to see, but we are not doing. That we need to do. Even a hotel, small hotel, before putting it, he has to go through different phases of testing to know the market. Who are his customers? And what is his price tag? So many and so forth. So as far as rural tourism is concerned, yes, we know that more than 60, 65%, 70% people live in villages. And then if you analyze the definition, any place, any tourism activity that showcases the local art, architecture, lifestyles, whatever, and that brings benefit for the local community socially and economically, and also opens interactions between the the tourists and the local community, and that gives a enriching experience. That is very authentic. So if you break the whole definition, you will find the answer. Rural tourism is definitely situated in a rural area where the local community is the pillar. They have to deliver. They have to be sensitized, because they are the people, those who will deliver the goods and services at the end of the day. And what is happening? The tourists are coming. They are staying a couple of days there, and they are not spoiling the environment. They are going back with a memory, okay, which is indirectly or directly helping the local community to bring in the forefront. So keeping those in mind, everybody, all the stakeholders has a different role to play in developing a destination, in promoting it, right from the government. Even the government has a specific role. The Minister of Tourism has a different distinct role. They need to promote the destination. They will develop infrastructure, create infrastructure in the place. And the rural development also, they have their role. They will bring all those rural things, inclusiveness into the society. Even the handlooms and handicraft department, they have a role. They have to preserve the local artisans and the cultures and everything. Even the forest and environment department, they have a different role that everybody knows what they need to do. And they need to synergize in a partnership basis to create facilities in those clusters. Then only, even the stakeholders like the hoteliers, the travel agents, the tour operators, the guides, the DMCs, the B&B units, the hoteliers, everybody has a role in its promotion. In totality, that create an image. In totality, even any part, something is lacking, then the whole exercise will break. So it is not so easy, to say it is very easy, but it is really very difficult. To sell a product like a pen or a pencil or a toothpaste or something like that, to go to the market, pay money and buy and come back. So you are happy because you are paying money and you are getting something. But here it is different. Service marketing is one of the difficult areas in tourism promotion, because the tourists or the end users paying money in advance before consuming the product. So it is really very big, because there are a lot of experiences that I have personally encountered being in Goa or in abroad. I have seen how the destinations are created, how the image is being dampened, and how then they come back and bounce back immediately after that, the kind of steps that they take. But it is for sure, that we have different places, different clusters in Odisha. If I rightly remember, in 2005 or 4, when the rural tourism concept was introduced by the Ministry of Tourism for the first time, around 150, 160 villages was adopted by the Ministry of Tourism, and in Odisha there were 6, 7 units by villages, like Pipili, famous for applique works, Raghurajpur, then Barpali, Sadaivarani, then Kiching, and then another 1 or 2 I am just forgetting. So these are the villages which are well known. But apart from that, there are other areas which can also attract. If you look into the types of tourism, the rural tourism that signifies, it may be farm tourism, it may be angling, it may be walking, it may be nature walk, it may be cycling, it may be so many so forth. So different things may be taken off in different areas that we have not touched upon right now.
We will probably come back to it in the second round. Now, thank you so much, Dr. Patnaik, for sharing those interesting facts about the state. Now I come to Mr. Gagan Sadangi, who is the chair of the IATO state chapter and a leading travel tour operator. I have a question for you, Gagan, that I am repeating this again. Do we really have rural tourism products? If we have, then what would be a couple of circuits that you can talk about? Because we are talking about developing rural tourism circuits. In Odisha specific situation, what would be a circuit, let's say 1 or 2 circuits that you can suggest of? But before that, my basic question is, do we have enough rural marketing products to market the rural marketing in Odisha?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for asking me this question. I was expecting this question from you. As a tour operator, I have been marketing India for last 20 years. But while most of the tour operator, we highlight most of the time the known circuit like Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, and all the known places where we are having the good and the best of best facilities available, like good hotel, good guides, good infrastructure. It becomes so easy for us to market. But then when we talk about the rural tourism and marketing the rural tourism in a tourism sector is one of the biggest challenge. I think it is a very very tough task for us. But over the last few years, what I see people talking a lot about rural tourism, because maybe 10 years back, when I showcased this product in the domestic and the international market, then sometimes people would ask me, mostly I'm talking about my Indian friends, they would ask me, Gagan, why do you talk about something, like we are showing something in a very unknown rural setup, rural area, and why somebody should go there? What is the benefit? Why should somebody would go there? So no Indian that time was really showing any interest for this circuit. So I was mostly, trying to sell these packages in the overseas market. And because in the overseas travelers, they were more used to traveling to the known circuit, they were looking for something new. And for them, they of course were showing interest. But after the pandemic, now this has become so popular, everybody is talking about rural tourism. Because we have been, like inside our homes, within the 4 walls, and we want to go outside, venture out and see our own country. That perhaps one of the reasons. Earlier, there was not so much talk about rural tourism yet. Now coming to the important question, that whether we are really ready to promote this rural tourism circuit. And if it is yes, if we have any such circuit already present in Odisha that we can sell, I would say definitely the answer is yes and also no. Why? Because if I talk about Odisha, because Puri, Bhubaneswar, Konark, and all the bigger cities having good infrastructure, good hotels, and of course, we have been shelling this golden triangle for a very long time. But the real potential, if we want to increase the tourist traffic to Odisha, we can do that through the rural circuit. And Puri, for example, Raghurajpur, we cannot think of visiting to have an experiential holidays in the Puri, Bhubaneswar and Konar circuit without visiting the Raghurajpur artisan village. So anybody if he is just visiting that area, we have to develop, we have to take them to Raghurajpur and we have to show them how the people, how the artists are doing their artwork there. And then they understand the culture about the art and craft, and that is also exhibited in front of the tourist directly. So to some extent, we have been able to develop Raghurajpur and the nearby villages, but we have many other circuits. I can talk about the tribal area. In tribal area, we have a very rich cultural heritage of all our tribes, and often we go there, but just visiting those places is not it's not giving you that kind of experiential some kind of holidays that the people can really fondly remember, and they would be interested to visit again. If somebody is going to Koraput, why should he go there, sir? He wants to visit to the Koraput circuit. He wants to meet the tribe, to know about their culture, to know about the art and craft available there, and maybe to know about the real culture. But the problem is the destination is not yet fully ready for this. Of course, government is doing something, and now we have been successful in establishing some of the this bread and breakfast sort of accommodation units there. But even then, I know as a member of this hospitality committee, inspection committee, I know what are the challenges these homestays are facing there. So I think it is still a very tough task. But over the years, with the demand from the stakeholder, the government has taken few steps, but still we have to do more. But now we have heard something like IITTM. They have done a very beautiful work. They have now trained the community guides, which is so much important. Because when we are visiting this tribal area, in the earlier session, we spoke about the responsible tourism. And the responsible tourism is not possible without the involvement of the local community. So we need to do a lot of things to encourage community-based tourism over there. We have to include the guides from the local community. Of course, we have just taken few steps now, but we have to do much more things like that. So I have been told to be very brief, so I'll leave it to you, sir. Maybe in the next round I can speak more. Okay, otherwise I'll just go on like this.
Thank you, Gagan. Thank you so much for being brief and short. But we'll come back to you on the community tourism part, because rural tourism and community tourism and tribal tourism is where you can enlighten us more. Before we talk about the tribal tourism and community tourism, I have with me Dr. Swai, who is a professor with Sri Sri University. I would like to ask him, when we are talking of marketing rural tourism, what are the media that we are going to use, and what are the target group? Who is the target audience that we should address those advertisements or the promotion? Yeah, you are free. I just want to see whether... Being a professor, he doesn't want to talk from here. So we can use
it. And, thanks, Devji. I mean, he is a pioneer in the field of tourism, travel. So I'm extremely happy and delighted to be the part of the distinguished panel. Sarangiji and Dr. Patnaik, Mr. Sao, Mr. Chopra, and all colleagues. I'm very happy I represent the marketing side of this story. I will tell you a very interesting slogan which I have coined 25 years back when I started teaching. And brand is logo, logo is ego, and ego is revenue. Now, if you are a marketing professional, you might challenge by saying, brand is not all about logo. I agree. But you know, when you purchase a premium car, a sedan or a hatchback or whatever, then you always see the logo. If I'll take the logo out, you might not be interested to pay that much of amount. So it's very important when you talk about destination branding. I have got 4 minutes, so 2 minutes I will just be in the branding sphere and 2 minutes for the rural tourism. Because it's an intangible product. When you talk about intangible product, you have got 7 P's. Product, price, promotion, place. That's same for product marketing. But this is service marketing. In service marketing, what happens is, because it's intangible, perception and brand image plays very important role. So when you talk about tourism, now the #1 tourist spot in the world is Paris, 2022. Why? Because the moment you close your eyes and start perceiving, it comes to your picture. The moment you are newly married, and I will ask you where you want to go, the same age-old answer will come: Switzerland. What is there in Switzerland? We have got beautiful places in Odisha and in India, which is much better than Switzerland. But at the end of the day, what comes into the picture? Brand is logo, logo is ego, and ego is revenue. People can pay anything for whether urban tourism, ecotourism, advantage tourism, cultural tourism, heritage tourism, medical tourism. But the issue is, do you have that perception in the mind of the customer? That is the major issue in any industry, and specifically in tourism industry. Now, how many villages we have in India? 6,50,000 around. How many in Odisha? 52,000. Now, what is the contribution? Previous year, how many foreign tourists have joined India? Might be around 1 crore. How many domestic tourists? 67 crore. Now, here the issue is, how you'll be going to create a positive perception. I'll not share much data about this, because time is only 4 minutes. So, there are specific questions from Devji. What are the avenues we have? How will we go to reach the customer? Now, here it is very important to understand your segment first. Now, you have to have a vision. You have to have a mission plan for next 10 years. And then community involvement. But before that, you have to understand your target segment. So you have to have a segmentation, targeting, and positioning in place. Now, are you going for money for value or value for money? That you have to decide clearly. Money for value is, as you have money in your pocket, I will capture it, premium brand. You got it? The other one is value for money. You come to me because I offer you so many things. So first we need to have a clarity in our mind what exactly we are trying to do in the name of rural tourism or whatever tourism. Now this is a 2.7 trillion industry in the world. And India contributes around 170 billion. We contribute around 170 billion. We are aiming for 250 billion by next 5 years. And goes on the data. So I'll not dwell much into the data. But what is important, we need to first create an impression in the mind of people. How to create it? The easiest way is to share our experience through word of mouth. If you are not obsessed about your own state, own country, now I don't go into the regional kind of centric idea because it's a global world. So you need to have local understanding with a global touch. Because if you do not understand the benchmark, tourism facility inside Chilika, people are accessing to Goa, to Singapore, to other places. To this place, then perception plays a very important role. So it's very important we need to understand first the target audience. Second, value for money or money for value. Third, what exactly media we should use. The safest media, quickest media is word of mouth. Until unless We all talk positively and high about our own resources and the tourist locations. It's very, very difficult to convince the other guy. Now, when somebody asks, hey, how is Odisha? So and so, and then, you go on telling the story. So it's very important for government and all of us to decide today on a story about Odisha. Because tourism is all about storytelling. Selling service is all about storytelling. If your storytelling is average or weak, bad perception, poor perception, is correct. You don't have to marketing any product or service. See, when you go for a premium car or a premium house or a premium brand, you don't have to market. Already there is the impression. So lastly, I will tell the impact of digital marketing. Hardly, today we are having this. So we need to be everywhere. We need to be in Instagram, we need to be in Facebook, we need to be in LinkedIn. Live should be happening, buzz should be happening. We need to involve all college and universities. Because tourism will never sustain if you do not train your manpower. I'll not go into much in detail because next round we might come. So people, process, technology. Three things are very important for promoting any sector. People, process, technology. Your process is fantastic, technology is fantastic, but people are poor. I mean, skill sense. So where to build skill? It is college and universities. So my request to Devji and all of you to go to different universities, create sponsored tracks. Because if you create, just collaboration and you open a course, faculty members will teach who are having wonderful theoretical knowledge, no practical knowledge. If you invite industry people, they will bypass the concept, they will talk about the industry relevance. So we need to train faculty also. If you don't train faculty, how the faculty will teach about tourism? I'll only talk about concepts. That will not do. Now, do you have a live project for students? Are they going and visiting a village? No, sitting here in Bhubaneswar with all these roads and infrastructure facility, and you are talking about a village. I have gone to my village. Nobody is ready to work. Everybody is into service industry. 65% of our GDP is service. Below 35, 65. So it's a lot of young people. So if we can motivate youth to look into that as a career option with skilling, then things will work. So I will conclude your first round. So first one is, we have to be very clear what exactly we want in next 5 to 10 years. Second, what is our core strength? That is very important, because if you do not know core strength, then it's very difficult. Once you know your core strength, then value for money or money for value. Then you need to have a customer profiling. And then last one is, let us create a story which will create positive perception and impact in the mind of the customers or anybody. Once there is a positive impact, you don't have to market about your brand. You don't have to, use all these platforms. Automatically, people will come and they will ask you. So I'm talking about, finally, I'm closing this session, my first round, by saying, now we are into push mode. Everything is pushed. Let us organize this, let us go for this, let us do that. After the event, everything is gone. I'm back to my normal thing, you are back to your normal thing, and forget about tourism and all those things. So, last one is, let us have a pull marketing approach. Let's create a story. Let's pull people towards the story. And rest is history. We are heading for a wonderful era of tourism. I'm very happy and excited, Devji, after pandemic, because we have seen the industry, the way industry has suffered. And this is a major industry. So I'm praying God that all of you stay healthy along with me, and let the tourism and travel industry grow 100 times, not 10x, 100x. That's all for the time being. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Swami, for that spirited response. When in the morning session we were there, rural tourism was discussed. Mr. J.K. Mahanti mentioned about the rural tourism starting somewhere in Spain for the first time in the world. Now, in this panel, there is one gentleman who has an exposure of tourism in the whole of Europe, is Dr. Patnaik. So, my question to Dr. Patnaik, next question is, can we promote our rural tourism in the style of Europe, that you have experienced during your stint there? in India tourism. But since we have very little time, I would request you to be brief.
Thank you, sir, because Mr. Mohanty, what you were telling, I have gone actually extensively the whole part of Spain. Mr. Khanna knows because when I was in Paris, I was in charge of 8-10 countries. I have gone also Toledo, that place. A small, castle is there. It's a, small village kind of things. This movement started when a lot of people started coming to Spain, to Barcelona, to Madrid, and to other places. So they're overflooded in weekends. So just to divert all those people to other places, they devised this plan in 2016 or 17 or before that, how to divert all those tourists to other places, other parts. And the concept started taking, in a very big way. I have seen in small place in Belgium, Bruges, even in weekends, starting in the night of Friday, Saturday and Sunday, you will see the whole small city. I was comparing Bruges with Bhubaneswar. Exactly the same ambience, same climate, same area. A lot of heritage over there and also in Bhubaneswar. Not a single vehicle over. The whole buses were plying outside. People from Britain, people, all tourists from Germany, because they are all neighboring, from Brussels. They used to come in the weekends too, because in 2002 and 3, Bruges was declared as the capital of Europe. A city every year they choose, and they do a lot of promotions. So that brings a lot of tourists also. The great thing is that, small village, that is a small village with some Gothic style structures and all, very, very old. And people, what they do, they park their vehicles outside the city, and they will start walking. Walking in the city centers and in corners, lanes and by lanes, just to see the structure and styles of constructions. So that is the uniqueness. Because I was just observing as a student, as a learner, how these people are coming in the weekends and starting from Monday till Friday, nothing is there. Absolutely nothing is there. You can play football, cricket, whatever you like. But starting from Friday to Monday morning, same thing, you will find the buzz. Similar kind of things also can be developed in our place. In a couple of things, I was just telling, we have some classic examples also. We need to identify those clusters, villages, which has the intrinsic value and potential to attract both domestic and foreign tourists. Because people have money, they have disposable money and also disposable time. So they can spend money and they are looking for new destination. It is a travel motivation. People traveling to one place once or twice, they will look for new destination. And what is that new destination? Which can really bring value for money, rightly told. So we have to first identify those areas where we have the real potentiality to attract the domestic tourists or foreign tourists. The second point is that you have to make a roadmap. What exactly or where you stand to make based on the SWOT analysis, where we are right now and where we will reach. Then you create infrastructure. If it is well connected, that's okay, fine. Then see what additional infrastructure can be provided. Then you make a handholding with the other line departments. Because that tourism is an interdisciplinary subject. It never grows in isolation. You have to take cognizance and confidence of other department also. They have to contribute significantly in developing their own product and own sphere of activities. So that has to be looked into. Then you bring the core, to hold the pillar of all those structures is the local community. They need to be involved from the very beginning. If you are trying to do something in a particular village or in a particular place, we need to take their confidence first. They need to be in the mainstream, starting from the conceptualization of the project or the plan, and their point of view has to be taken into account, because at the end of the day, they will receive. They will give a good memory. And if they are not involved and you are grounding something over there overnight, they will face the problem. And again, another point also you have to take into account, sensitization. CBSB, capacity building training programs you can do through trainings with how to behave, how to speak, other things, so many things are there. So these things, these are the preliminary things, then you create a product. What is the core area? How people will come, where they will stay, where the interpretation center will be there. So many things has to be developed. Take cluster by village and bring into the forefront. And take the support of the stakeholders for promotion, government, non-government, governments, other institutions will come into the fore to take it forward. Place it in the different agendas. In digital platforms.
Sorry to interrupt you. Since you mentioned about the stakeholders, I would like to bring in Gagan here. Gagan, developing a rural tourism market in Odisha. We are talking about villages, we are talking about tribal tourism, we are talking of community tourism, we are talking of rural tourism. What is the difference, or it is the same thing that is being promoted in a different format or different shape? What is your views on this? And second is, coming back to again, do we really have a product to market? Do we have a village to market? Does the village still have that innocence in them for the tourists to experience that? You are working in the field, so you would know better.
Thank you, sir. My first answer regarding whether Odisha villages are fit to be marketed as a rural tourism destination, right? I would say 100% that Odishan product is so unique, and we are right now in a position we can market our product very aggressively and efficiently. But where the problem lies, I'm talking about that. The problem really lies unless until there is a good coordination between the stakeholder and the government, and the other departments of the government, like the forest department, tourism department. This would not happen. Because why I think so? We have to think of, developing our circuit, the product and services available within this sphere. We have to market it together. And marketing shouldn't be like this, one day affair. It shouldn't be like this, you go one time or one day to London or ITB and exhibit the product and come back home. And you want to measure, how efficiently you have done your marketing. This would not happen. It should go on. It should be a continuous process. And marketing wouldn't be successful without sustainably developing the product and services. When I talk about the product and services, sir, I'm talking about, suppose, within this circuit, we have some villages, okay? And the people are...
Let us say we are talking about Raghurajpur, Pipli and Chandanpur.
Yes, sir. I'm just speaking about that. Because, for example, whoever been to Odisha, they would say, okay, it's a beautiful place, we have art, culture, and but moreover, they also say something which is far more important. They savor the hospitality of the Odia people. Odishan people are so innocent, and it is a brand, like we can talk about this. Odishan people are so unique. You talk to any of the traveler, I'm not talking about tourists, I'm not talking about domestic or foreigner, people are so satisfied. They say, people are so innocent, and this innocence is still found in our villages. We should try to preserve this, and this possible with shape and responsible tourism practices, and this won't happen without joining hands with the government agency and stockholders, everybody. Together we have to do this.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I will come back to Dr. Swai again. Could you elaborate on your storytelling concept? Word of mouth and the story, building a story. That is the concept based on which we thought, or you thought, most appropriate for promoting the rural tourism in Odisha. Could you elaborate on that? But again, my request is try to be a little brief.
Yeah, the first thing we need is education. Because, I'm talking from my experience. Everybody in Odisha should know, how many of you have visited 100%, the tourist spots in Odisha? Raise your hand. Oh, I have not seen more than 30%. It's not a great statement to make in front of the media, but if you talk about, we have visited 35, more than 35 countries in the world. Either for conference or for visit and all those things. So why that is not happening? So I think everywhere in the city there has to be some extension counters. whereby a small leaflet, kiosk, interactive kiosk, if you're not, ready to invest money in leaflets, and you will give an assumption that, anecdote, that anybody can take the leaflets and they throw it, then go for, kiosk. Everywhere people should be involved in the process. I should know which are the locations I have. Then there are 3 ways to become a leader in the market: product differentiation, cost leadership, and focus. So as Devji is asking question, do we have really products, rural products? Are they scalable? So those are different things. I will come to that in some other time. But first is the soft power. Do we really feel proud about our destinations? Do I have knowledge about destinations? Am I really interested and excited to talk to my family? Let's go in this vacation to this spot. Hardly. Acha. Then the second issue is, are we prioritizing how we'll be going to tell the story about Odisha? I mean, I'm talking about particularly for tourism, travel and tourism industry. Now we have got Chandua, we have got this location, we have got that location, we have got Puri and all. Now, have we prioritized how to tell the story, in what language, and what is the target audience on a sustainable basis? If you tell me too many things, it will be a confused positioning. So we need to be very sure, once somebody comes to this particular place, lands at railway station or airport, like, is it Baluka thing we will show? Is it Puri picture we are showing? Is it Lord Jagannath we are projecting? What exactly we are trying to do? And then, so that will be a umbrella and then spokes. But it has to be very, very clear. First, the local people should be marketed about all these destinations. And then comes, rural tourism and all those things. Because if you are not excited about the story, you will not involve in the process. So I will request all of you, the industry leaders, to go to all schools and colleges, have subjects in tourism. Let us educate all our kids from UKG, LKG. Let us talk about our history. How many of us know our history? I will say, oh, what is this, Chandua? But, how many of us know the history? If you are not very clear about our own fundamentals, it's very difficult to convince others. That's where the problem lies. Product and all those things will come. Technology you can copy. Anything you can do. You invest money, you will bring the very best from the world. You can bring resources, technology, processes. But the problem is, who will own it? So we are not persistent enough to own it. We'll own it for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. After that, event over. You can see the World Cup also, Hockey World Cup. How many of us really marketed ourselves during that event? So, these players could have visited some of the villages. Automatically, the foreign media would have captured those. So, rural tourism happened. So, you need to, look into all these sides.
They did visit some places in Sundargarh district. We are crossing the allotted time, and we are supposed to take questions. I think we have time for just one question, but whoever it is, I would request, make a question, not a statement. Yeah. Mike, please. No, he's giving you the mic. Hello. Please make a small question and not a statement request.
Sure. I have both, but I'm going for the question only. Recently, I have gone through Odisha, what are the rural tourist points and where the stay facilities are there. I have gone almost bigger size, 30 numbers. 30 units are there who are providing stay, food, and little bit travel to the location. But I don't know before the thing, hardly 1, 2, 3. Then I searched for all the thing in different way, I came to know. But there is no platform. Okay, Haro is there, but these people are not coming under the hotel category. They are basically farmhouse type of thing. They have
so basic question is, you want to know how to market this destination.
Yes, so marketing platform should be ready, one particular, not individual and all. Shop club thing should be ready, like tourism development. They are looking after something different, but this thing, another thing should be ready. Maybe somebody can do.
Thank you.
Any plan is there, you can express.
Yeah. A little that I know, if you look into the rural tourism website of Government of India, they have given you state-specific information. And Odisha tourism comes in there also with information about rural tourism and the homestay destinations. You know, including Debrigad and all these places have been mentioned in it. That little that I remember, I've seen it. But considering that rural tourism is getting a focus in recent times, we would probably promote and request the department to have a separate, template for homestays and rural tourism. Sorry? Yeah, we can also, out of this conversation. Yeah, please.
See, I have a small input for you. I mean, all leaders are sitting here. Just like we are having Aadhaar card. I was thinking, to just, request the officials, why not to have a tourist card? Compulsory card for every human being. I don't know about the scaling and all those financial aspects, but this is just, like an input. Once you give me, 5,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees free. So it's a pull approach. So now I'm not interested to do anything for this. But now I have a card. And the free concept is growing on, freebies. So what will happen, I will not spend 5,000. I will spend 15,000, 20,000. But the major issue is, am I ready to go there? That's the issue. So why not to have a, other kind of thing, tourist card for everybody? So, I mean, we need to have experiential approach.
We need
Theory
to think
will not
about
work.
it, possibly.
Yeah.
But very good, very interesting suggestion. I've been part of number of panels, number of conferences, but never heard about a tourism card being promoted or suggested or being thought of. So wonderful thought. Thank you so much. And thank you audience for you. I think Dr. Patnaik has a point. Yeah.
Sorry, as far as the prospect and the future of rural tourism is concerned in Odisha, it is very bright to say, because right now we are getting good connectivity to different parts of Odisha. That Jaipur is connected right now, and so also Rangelunda is connected in Barampur.
Utkala is getting connected. Utkala is getting connected.
Yes. So, because suppose there are special interest tourists, I am coming for a rural tourism area. Suppose right now he told that I have a small unit in, suppose in Koraput, and I want to go to Koraput. Why should I come to Bhubaneswar? Understand what I say?
Yeah.
So, like that, he can make a direct connectivity to Jaipur instead of coming to Rourkela or to Bhubaneswar.
Now they are going to, I am told, I don't know how far it is correct, but I am told that the flight is so successful, they are going to have a second flight to Jaipur very shortly.
Yes.
There would be 2 flights moving to Jaipur in a day.
Exactly. So, we are very hopeful that in other areas also that will be connected. And another good thing is that, that right now the active participation of the self-help groups, they are very active in all the districts right now, and they are taking ownership of so many activities. In the days to come, maybe they will be, because they belongs to a community, and they will be the real ambassadors for rural tourism in Odisha. So these are two bright things. I am very
Thank you.
hopeful.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patnaik. I said that I will take one question, but there is another, say no to him, Charudat Panigrahi, the previous panelist. Please, please. Then it's a statement. Yeah.
Koraput the new Konark. Now everybody is talking about Koraput. So
No.
let's kind of distribute the entire scenario
See,
across the state.
Understood,
That's my request.
understood. But my answer is, see, till we didn't have Jharsuguda, we never knew whether there will be a load factor for Jharsuguda or not. Today there are 4 flights flying out of Jharsuguda. We didn't have Jaipur. We have a 9-seater at Jaipur. So there is a demand for more than 9 people traveling to Jaipur, which is a good sign. We are not really making it crowded, but there should be proper connectivity also. When we are talking of Utkala, we are talking of connecting to Nuapada, Kadiyad, Kalahandi, everything. So, yes, agreed that there is a line to be drawn in between, Konark and Koraput, but we need it. We need the connectivity. We need, as Dr. Patra said in the morning, Hira. Yeah, it can be a business also. Thank you so much. Thank you, Argus. It has been a pleasure to be associated with Argus in the previous, season 1 of the event and even this year also. Thank you so much. And it was a pleasure to have such a learned panelist with me, Dr. Patnaik, Gagan, and Dr. Swai. Thank you. Thank you so much, Diksha. I believe we have taken, we have finished in time.
I have been, there's this, when these panel discussions are on, it's always the moderators who are like, okay, this session has been delayed by 10 minutes, so you're giving us extra 10 minutes. I've already got that request from there. But what a wonderful discussion, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for all our panelists. And of course, we would like to thank them by presenting them with mementos as well. So I'll request Head HR and Admin Argus News, Mr. Ratikant Sahu, to please come here on stage and do the honors. Our panelists and moderator. What's happened, audience? We need some more energy here. Come on. We still have one more session to go. There's a valedictory ceremony, and like I said, we have a cultural program for you as well. Our moderator, Mr. Debashish Patnaik. From one Mr. Ratikant to another. And the group photograph. Thank you to our photographer as well, who's been patiently clicking all the photographs. Thank you, gentlemen. Once again, we'll be moving to our next discussion. And this is the last panel discussion for the day, after which we'll have the valedictory ceremony. And then, like I said, a cultural evening has also been planned for all of you. So, yes, once again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our partner states. I know I've been saying this throughout the day, but it's because of everybody's support that this conclave has been possible. So thank you, Goa Tourism Development Corporation, Assam Tourism Development Corporation, Gujarat Tourism Development Corporation, Maharashtra Tourism Development Corporation, Jammu and Kashmir Tourism Development Corporation, Puducherry Tourism Development Corporation, Ministry of Tourism, Incredible India, venue partner Crystal Crown, and travel partner Sand Pebbles. So before we move to as we get the stage set for the next session, how many of you have posted, tweeted, or clicked a picture and used it in your social media? Anybody here? How social media savvy you are? Let's figure. I like that. I like that. A big round of applause for Mr. Talabdar. I think he's the most tech savvy guy around here. Come on, so you need to use the hashtag Argus Chalo Dekhein Apna Desh, hashtag Chalo Dekhein Apna Desh. Please open your mobile phones. I know it has to be in silent mode, but you need to tweet or post about this conclave on your social media handles as well. That's a little request that we would like to make. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next session, again, very engaging it's going to be, because the topic is